Filtering arrays is extremely common in coding interviews, and you should be able to do it in C# very easily using LINQ and in a very fluent way without even thinking. You can just use the where LINQ operator and other operators to do some simple ranges filtering, and I'm going to show you that in this exercise. I have an array of numbers from 10 to 100, and I have a print method that allows you to simply print these numbers to the console. So let me run this code so you can see. I print all the numbers 10 to 100. All right, let's do the first exercise. Get all the numbers between 45 and 85. So where is the LINQ operator to use in this case? So let me do print numbers dot where close, and then you can add any. So you can do a lambda expression to do any filter, any predicate. You do x, and you can say x is greater than 45 and lower than 85. And there we go. You can use pattern matching here. This is extremely useful to do it. And there we go. If I run this code, you're going to see a 50, 60, 70, and 80. That is the filtered list of numbers. So every time you come across any problem that requires to filter an array, just use the where clause. Super easy and effective. Remember that the result is an enumerable. If you want to convert it back to an array, you need to do toArray. Okay, but if you don't have to, you can actually continue chaining other LINQ operators and do some additional operations later. You don't even need to convert it back to arrays. You can just work with enumerables going forward. Okay, so where is extremely useful. You can use any combination, any condition here. You can call another methods, use pattern matching, everything you want. Okay, super easy. This works just with arrays of numbers, but works also with array of objects. You can do pretty much everything with where. It's one of the most common methods used in C#. Another quite common things is like getting the first three numbers, for example, of a particular sequence, the first X numbers. Let's try to do that very easily with the take operator. If you just say take 3, it's just going to take the first three numbers, that is 10, 20, and 30. And you can do exactly the same things to take the last, take last. Take the last three numbers, and that will take the last three numbers of the array, 80, 90, and 100. Super easy. Also, something extremely common is like trying to extract a slice from a particular array, given some indexes, and you can use kind of array indexing with ranges. That is extremely common in C#. You can do numbers, use the indexer, and then you can specify a range, 3.7. You need to be very careful when you do that. If you run this code, you can see that it's printing 40, 50, 60, and 70. So this starts from index 3, that obviously is 40, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Index 7 would be 80, but that's excluded, okay? The last index is excluded when you do the indexing with ranges. Anyway, this is a very common way of doing it. I'll suggest you to take a look at the other videos I've made on the ranges and the indexes in C#. That is very useful to know when you want to very quickly extract slices from arrays. These are actually the most common methods that you need to really be kind of mastering filtering arrays or filtering kind of any other kind of collection in C# in coding interviews. Try not to do like for loops or for each unless it's absolutely necessary. So go with LINQ first. If you can't think of a way to do it with LINQ, with a lambda expression, then at that point you can do a classic for each loop that usually consists of something as simple as, okay, let's create a results kind of list, for example, or any other kind of object you want, and then you do a for each var n in numbers, then you do if, and then you can do the condition, let's say n is greater than 45, whatever it is, and then you do result.add, and you can say n, and at the end of the day you have a result kind of list that contains all the kind of filtered elements. And you can do that, for example, in a method. You can use the yield keyword if you want to do that in a method, but you don't need to do that because you can use LINQ, and you can use the for loop or for each loop only if it's absolutely necessary, and you need to do some more sophisticated logic or nested logic, whatever it is for the problem at hand. But go straight with LINQ. Most of the time, the coding interview doesn't require any more sophisticated kind of complex algorithms. Just use LINQ and try to master this. You should be able to do this very, very quickly in an interview.